In this video, I want to take a look at the 7 senior players that have the option to return in the 24-25 season and what they might do. So I'm talking about the players that have not declared yet, what their intentions are. So Aaliyah Edwards, Nico Muhl, Georgia Amoore, Cameron Brink, Angel Reese, Camilo Cardoso, and Haley Van Lith. Now, there are 3 players on that list who I think it's pretty obvious what they will do just based on their circumstances. And those 3 would be Aaliyah Edwards, Nico Muhl, and Georgia Amoore, as they are international players. If you watch the basketball games on the weekend, we saw, unfortunately, a number of players go down with knee injuries. 5th-year senior Molly Davis for Iowa had to be carried off the court, and then afterwards she attended like the senior ceremony in a wheelchair. Now, I was saying that she is not done for the season and saying that there is a good chance that she will return. That's good news, but I don't know how healthy she will be. It was concerning that she could not put any weight on her leg, but hopefully she will be able to return for the tournament. The other 2, Elizabeth Kitley, hers remains unclear. So Virginia Tech isn't saying anything so far. I think Kenny Brooks said they're doing investigations and still determining. He gave some cryptic language about how we need to go on regardless and overcome adversity. So that does not sound good. And I think when everybody saw her injury, everybody was like, oof, that looks like an ACL. It worried me when she came out that she was in tears. So obviously they went back and did the test on her knee. And then as well, if you saw, she was already getting bruising in the knee. So that was sort of like, is there something going on inside of that knee, unfortunately. I hope it was just she bumped her knee when she hit the ground, but it did not look good, and it would not be surprising if they came out and said, yeah, she did her ACL. The other player that left the court was Mackenzie Holmes for Indiana. So I didn't get to see the mechanism of injury. I'm not sure if she jammed it or what, but she clearly limped off the court. They took her back and she didn't return in the game. And she's had ongoing issues with that knee. So I don't know. Hopefully they can get her back in. I'm not sure. But those injuries in itself would definitely need to serve a warning for other senior players on if they should return or not, because all 3 of those players are 5th-year seniors, so they do not have another year to come back. So Aubrey Griffin, who injured her knee for UConn this year, she was a redshirt senior, so she has the option to come back next year. Like, she hasn't played her 5 years, so she will be back at UConn next year, which is fortunate for her. So she injured her knee, I believe it was in December. She can play rehab on UConn's dime, come back next year, get herself healthy to prove that her knee is good, and then potentially get drafted into the WNBA or go on to Europe and have a professional European career where you can still make good money. Now, the injury for Kitley is obviously devastating, as this is the best time of year. It's the big stage. You want to put your skills on the big stage, March Madness, have everybody see you. That's where you make your name and the most fun. I mean, you get through the grind of the season to set you up for the best part of the season, and to get injured in the last game of the regular season just seems very cruel. I think that happened last year to Olivia Miles. But on a practical standpoint as well, because you're a senior, you're no longer going to be at school anymore. So I imagine you get your surgery if required and do the initial rehab while you're still completing your degree. Somebody like Kitley, the school would probably give her a GA position or something like that to allow her to recover. I'm not saying that, but an international player like Georgia Amoore, if she was to injure herself, I mean, that's just really quite tough, because the ongoing support, if she injured her knee in her 5th year, like if she returned next year and injured it in her 5th year, the ongoing support she would get would be limited because she's from Australia. So it's like, injure your knee, go back home, rehab, and you're out of action for the next 12 months. I mean, that has to be a concern for international players, or at least factor in to some degree in their decision to return. It was interesting. Aaliyah Edwards signed a endorsement contract with Adidas, and the announcement about it was really funny. UConn is a Nike school, I believe, so she won't be able to wear the shoes while at UConn, obviously, which has happened before. But the other thing was, it was real funny, she's not able to have payment in the states for because she's an international athlete. This whole thing where international athletes can't get paid because of the whole they're on a student visa is just a real nebulous area and really puts the international players to a disadvantage. So why would Aaliyah Edwards, Nika Muhl, or Georgia Amoore, or Camilo Cardoso return when they can't get paid or make any money for that last year? And then if they get injured, then they're really out of luck because they really will miss their draft window. So I think these players, it's in their interest. And I think what they're doing is, I won't say anything about if I intend to come back to UConn or not. So that would be more for Amoore, or that would be for Aaliyah Edwards and Muhl. In case they get injured in the tournament, then they have the ability to return to UConn to rehab and show that they're fit for the following year. And I think that's what's going on. That's why I think Edwards, Muhl, and Amoore, they will all declare after the tournament if they are healthy. As well, Camila Cardoso's in the same boat. And the U.S. players might be doing this to some extent as well, like Cameron Brink, Angel Reese, and Haley Van Lith. They might want to see, hey, make sure I make it through the tournament healthy, I'm ready to go, and I'm going to declare. Of course, Angel Reese, those players are so high profile. They have more options because they are making money. If they were to be injured in their 5th year, I don't think it would be quite as devastating, but that would still be devastating. I mean, I can't wait for the postseason to start and want all the great games and everything else, but as well, I really want Rakia Jackson, Charisma Osborne, and JC Sheldon, all of those players to come out of the tournament healthy. As they are 5th-year seniors and this is their window, the time is now for them. Who was it in college football? I think there were 2 that I remember. I think it was Jake Butt. Like, he was a tight end for Michigan and injured himself in a meaningless bowl game. And instead of being like a 1st or 2nd round draft pick, he dropped. I think he was like 5th or something lower like that. The other one, I seem to recall, Willis McGahee from Miami had a really bad knee injury. I think that was a meaningful bowl game. I think they were playing for the national championship, but it still is devastating because it ruined his draft stock. So I'm wishing all of these players health, but that has to weigh into their decision on what they're going to do going forward, I think. And to that end, that's why I think Aaliyah Edwards, Nika Muhl, Georgia Amoore, I think they, and Camila Cardoso, they will all declare for the WNBA draft, in my opinion. But I would anticipate they'll hedge until after the tournament just to make sure they got through it healthy, and then at that point, declare. The other one that I think will go will be Cameron Brink. I think LA will be too good for her to pass up. I believe Haley Van Lith will return to LSU to work on her draft stock as well. I've given some advice to Angel Reese in this video, which was very polarizing. Check it out if you like. Some people loved it and some people hated it. Thanks a lot for watching. Have a good night.